0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Oh, that's real good.
So, any last questions from anyone?
How far is it?
Tell me that when you're finished. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Why they stopping me? Ain't nobody, why they stopping me? Ain't nobody, why they stopping me? Ain't nobody, why they stopping me? Stopping me.
Oh, that's real good.
Ain't nobody, why they stopping me? 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 Stopping me.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
Ain't nobody,
Exactly. It may well be. Yeah, no, I'm loving filming. Oh man, my shorts are soaked. Absolutely soaked through. That was a June hailstorm. Big, fat hailstones. Lovely. Hey, about 5.5 hours in and done about 19.5 miles, so going very well. Simon is probably quarter of a mile, half a mile ahead, I guess, maybe a bit less than that. We sort of ran together at the very beginning, then we got separated when I was getting a couple of bits out of my bag, then ran together for a bit and walked together as we climbed all the way up here. You can see in the background. Very pretty area that we are at the moment. And the sun's out, which is very nice. Bit of a contrast to the hailstorm that we had before and the rain that we had almost since the beginning. It's been on and off, and I think it will continue to be on and off. Yeah, Simon went ahead this time because I stopped to sort my feet out. When I'd seen the forecast for this morning, I put last minute decision, I put my waterproof socks on. That's because I've sworn by them before. Used them on the Northern Traverse in the night sections, it really helped. Just keep my feet warm as much as dry. But this time they completely filled up with water. I can't go running in bags of water, so it would really mess my feet up. So took them off, dried my feet, put some more trench cream on my feet, put some fresh socks on, which feel lovely at the moment. So yeah, I'm hoping that that will turn out to have been a sensible decision, and it will sort of pay dividends later on, because the last thing I want is to get my feet macerated really early in this race. You've got to take care of your feet if you're going to get all the way up to Kirkyetum. So yeah, I'm cracking on now. Feeling pretty good actually. Like I say, nearly 20 miles in, so it's 44 miles to the first checkpoint. I've got a broken pole here, didn't work from the very beginning, so I'm looking forward to getting to the checkpoint and getting my, so I've got a spare set of poles there, get those out, get everything cleared up and everything like that. I mean, it's going to be a fair while before I get there obviously, but nice to have something to aim for. Yeah, loving it. It's crazy hard though, crazy hard, totally different terrain to Northern Traverse, way more technical, very boggy, slippery, rocky. Yeah, it's tough, fun, but tough. Okay, 26.2 miles in, which means everything from here on in, it's ultra territory. It also means I'm just under 10% of the way to the finish, which I suppose is good. But things are getting a bit tough. Look, it's like the worst stairs in the world, but anyway, it's all good, it's all fun. Wishing I had my second pole on this, but you know, such is life. Okay, 9 hours and 48 minutes in, so just under 10 hours in. Just left Nicky's Bar, as I mentioned before, is a bit of a legendary spine spot. Basically, you pay £15, you can choose like one hot food, get a hot drink or two, and then anything else that you want. So they've got a big sort of buffet of different sweet treats and a bit of fruit. I've got a banana in here, which is great, and then just all sorts of things that they've clearly just got from lots of experience of running this and helping out with the spine. You know, they've got cans of cold Coke and things like that, generally all full fat, which I think is, again, from experience of spiners wanting as many calories as they can get. But then also, on the other side of the room, they've got bottles of Coke that have been opened and let to go flat, because really you don't want a whole load of fizzy stuff in your stomach. Just think, really great little setup. Don't get me wrong, look, 15 quid a go. I'm sure they're making a really good bit of profit this weekend, but just lovely to have that level of thought going into looking after the people coming through. So yeah, just left there. It's 13 miles from here into the first checkpoint, and I am just about to cross the M62, which I think I've seen this bridge a few hundred times in my life. I never ever thought I would be crossing it, but here I am. And look, thrilling. The UK's highest motorway, I believe, or at least England's highest motorway. Show you. I'm very glad they built this bridge, and I'm not expected to cross it any other way. Right, 12 and a half hours in, just gone through 43 miles, jogging a little bit, but mainly walking, so averaging kind of somewhere between 15 and 20 minute miles, which is basically what I projected, so after this leg, so that's pretty good. Looks like I'll probably get into the first checkpoint at about the time that I was predicting, maybe a little earlier, but the guy I was running with, who's just gone ahead a little bit, says there are some pretty nasty hills between now and there, so we've got about 3 miles or so until I get there, so looking forward to that. Then yeah, get a proper sit down. I think it's about 8 o'clock in the morning on day 2, so I've been going for 23 hours and 57 minutes, so yeah, it must be near 8 o'clock. Last night we covered a bit of ground out from checkpoint 1, but the weather was horrendous. Really heavy rain, quite strong winds, very wet underfoot, and a couple of the guys I was running with got a bit sick as well, and were a bit unwell. Both seem to have recovered a bit now, which is great. One guy, Simon, is just behind me. Another guy is just ahead, Sean. But I think I can sort of tell from my legs I probably underestimated how hard yesterday was. So my legs are a bit pooped, but I'm still able to move at a reasonable pace, which is great. And I'm just heading over a very foggy moorland, again very wet underfoot. Heading over this moorland towards Gargrave, which is a little town or a village probably, but it's got a co-op in it and various other things, where we're really hoping to be able to take a proper sit down, recoup a little bit, maybe even have a bit, 15 minutes sleep or whatever. Yeah, it was a lot more tiring last night than expected, but still going okay. For anyone wondering what it's like doing an ultramarathon that goes on over more than one day, that was what it's like at night time. It's slow. At the moment, actually, the going's pretty good underfoot, so it's nice. And it's dark, very dark, except for where the head torches are. And all you can really concentrate on doing is ticking down the miles to your next destination. So we were told, where we just stopped a little while ago for a very glamorous sleep in the public toilets, we were told that it's 16 miles to our next destination. We're hoping it's less than that, really hoping it's less than that, but we'll see how it goes. We've done 3.5 of those, nearly 4 of them already, so it's going actually surprisingly well. So we just want to get in to checkpoint 2, as this has been an incredibly long leg. We started at 11:30 p.m. last night. It's now 11:30 p.m. tonight. We've done 24 hours, and by my calculation, got another 12-ish miles to go. So yeah, pretty tired. In fact, we're very tired, both of us, but we're still moving really well. Simon's moving really well, and at the moment I'm kind of plodding along behind. Okay, it is Tuesday morning at about, so look, 10 in the morning, 10:08. Typhoon, Eurofighter Typhoons just flying past in the background, doing some testing or something, I imagine. So not testing, training. Simon and I stuck together through the night last night, despite no doubt at times both wanting to kill one another, but actually would never have made it through. I wouldn't anyway without the pair of us being together, so that was really great. We've now been going for 50 hours and we've covered 115.8 miles, so we're not record breakers, but what we've found out is that this year's dropout rate may be a record breaker by the looks of things for a summer spine. The number is absolutely massive. So the fact that we're still here, miles inside the cut-offs, and actually got up this morning, each of us had one minor blister on our little toe that we each dealt with. That was it, having had soaking wet feet pretty much consistently for all of Sunday and Monday. That's an absolutely brilliant situation. So innovate, if you are listening, which you probably won't be, your old Terra Ultra or the Ultrafly G180s, I think, G270s, there you go, good job he's here. They were perfect. Apparently you're discontinuing them, which we're gutted about. Both of us are absolutely gutted about. This is a fantastic shoe. I'll show you. Look, there you go. Look, they come in luscious green and vomit orange and blue. Really nice. Anyway, they're absolutely brilliant. Both of us are moving well now already, so we're going to crack on today. It's 34 miles. See what we can do. Basically, we really just want to spend as little time out in the dark as possible, because basically that's the thing that breaks your morale. So we're going to try and do that, get as much done today as we can, as early as we can, without running. But yeah, all good, really good. And I'm going to raise the camera up so everyone can see around, but we couldn't see any of this as we came in last night because it was either too dark or we had our heads down. But it is pretty stunning where we are now running. Oh yeah, and we're going up there, by the way. Right, it is, hang on, I'll tell you what time it is. 4:45 on day 4. I am, I'm talking to a camera. Sometimes it's the most intelligent conversation we can have, you see. Yeah, I am with Simon, who's just in front of me here, about 175 miles into the summer spine. And this is the first time it's actually felt like a summer spine. We've just been climbing the first fell out of Dufton, where we stopped for some food, and it's really warm today. More than anything, it's just not very much air movement at the moment. Normally you'd expect a bit more breeze up here, so we're just trying to get our breath back and cool down after that climb as we just push on. We are at the top of Crossfell, the highest point on the Pennine Way. According to my watch, which we know is overcounting a little bit, we've done 181.5 miles in total, which is brilliant. Really, really good climb up here. The wind's picking up, which in some ways makes it a bit harder because you have to keep warm, but in other ways, actually, like earlier on, some of the climbs up to those falls were so hot. I was begging for wind, well, breeze. So yeah, really, really good. We are at 6 o'clock in the evening on day 4. So we will crack on from here very shortly. It's about 12 miles, we think, into Alston from here. We're moving fairly well, between 2 and 3 miles an hour, 2.5 maybe. So it's still gonna be a ways to go in terms of time, but hopefully we get in before there's too long in the dark, because we both want to avoid that. Get a bit of food, get a bit of sleep, and then crack out the second longest day tomorrow. Yeah, going really well, loving this. Both of us had a little bit of a sort of a slower point earlier on, but now we both seem to be feeling strong again, so yeah, all good. We'll see how punishing the downhill is. Morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, or just gone, on Thursday, day 5. We've just left Alston with a slightly frantic last couple of minutes to make sure that we got out in time for our maximum 6 hours in the checkpoint. We really wanted to capitalise last night on the opportunity for up to 3 hours of sleep, really. So we've done that the last 3 nights in a row now, and it's progressively getting less and less effective. And we're waking up feeling worse and worse. And this morning we woke up and I'm like, right, okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, okay, got this time we'd set aside before getting out, and God, that time just vanished. So we got out in time, kit check was all fine. I think both of us have really changed up a little bit what food we've got with us today. Just feeling like we've been carrying stuff that we really didn't want anymore. So I've switched it up a little bit with what we brought. I've got a whole big pack of wine gums, which maybe I'll let Simon have 1 or 2 of, like he let me have with his Roundtree's randoms yesterday, before he was then bouncing off the ceiling like a 7-year-old. Yeah, just a few different things to change it up. But actually, both of us, I'm going to say now, both of us moving okay, and then I'll probably look at this video and go, no, you weren't.
Could be leaning over.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, doing all right actually. We've got basically 80 miles to go, 39 miles today, 41 tomorrow. But 41 tomorrow includes the Cheviot, which is a bit tasty. So we're doing all right at the moment, and just really want to break the back of today, get onto Hadrian's Wall. Will be really fun, because obviously I've run that before. Excuse the noisy birds in the background. Yeah, getting onto Hadrian's Wall would be pretty as well. Hopefully it should be quite sunny today. We're hoping nice temperature, not too much sun out all the time, pops out when we want to do photos and videos and then goes away again. That would be my dream. But no, God, comparing it with the start of the week, there's just literally no comparison. It's been a proper run of contrasts. So yeah, gonna crack on, put a few miles in, see how our feet are and things, make sure we can adjust those if necessary. But all good, and just happy to be out and moving.
First mile, 22 minutes.
22 minutes, that's all right. I was predicting 30 minutes a mile on this one, so that's great. Hello, it's just 10 I think, on day 5. Thursday. It's Thursday. Yeah, so it is day 5. Just done, well, we're just coming up on 12 miles this morning, which is pretty good actually, not too bad. It means we're averaging about 2.5 miles an hour, which sounds very slow, and you know, this is a run, it's a race at the end of the day, but when you're as many miles in as we are, actually that's pretty decent. If I can hit, we can hit anywhere around 2.5 miles an hour. That's quicker than I predicted for today. Yeah, so all going pretty well so far. We've got another 4 maybe miles to go until we get to Green Head on Hadrian's Wall, and we pick up the Hadrian's Wall path briefly at that point for a few miles, which will be nice. Obviously I've run that before, so it'll be nice to be there. I love the archaeology of the whole thing. Beautiful to see the history. So looking forward to that. I've also this morning been every now and then tucking into a few wine gums in my pack. I've got here on the front. So I bought the wine gums as a bit of a last minute thing ahead of the run. I was buying food and unwanted treats and things that I might want that are a bit random. I quite like wine gums, they're alright, but Ian loved them, so, and that was what Mum used to always get him at Christmas, and she would always get those for him instead of an Easter egg, or as well as an Easter egg I think sometimes. And when he got really sick towards the end, and he wasn't able to handle a lot of solid food, in fact virtually none, he was having to drink sort of meal replacement shakes and things like that, so very sort of specially medicated ones. But one thing he could have was he could suck on a wine gum or two, so I know Mum sent him some for when he was in hospital. I know he had them at home as well, and so it's nice. They're a big connection for me to Ian, so that's been a nice little thing to do this morning. I mean, let's be honest, they're full of sugar, so in fact they are pretty much just sugar, so actually they're good for me as well, giving me a little bit of a pickup, but so the emotional pickup as well, which is nice. It's a bit of a change. I also know he would have loved, maybe not this bit with all the boggy river crossings, and well, not river crossings, they're just streams and boggy bits in farmers' fields, but when we get to Hadrian's Wall, that would have been his idea of heaven. So yeah, it's been a lovely little connection to make this morning.
0, 1, 2, 3.
Let's get started.
Hello. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. A very warm, very sunny afternoon. Just been adding a bit of sun cream. We are on Hadrian's Wall now. I've done a couple of the big hills. Well, not the big hills, they're steep. And a couple of those already, which has been great. So nice to be back here. Remembering all the great memories from the time I did it in 2020 and the time that Claire and I did it with some friends in 2010 as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part of the route. Really, really enjoying it. Simon's enjoying it as well. It's been really cool. Yeah, there's a few more miles of this, of the ups and downs, so it's not going to be all that quick, but actually we've been going really strongly. We stopped at a shop a bit further back in the car park and I had an ice cream. It was great. They also had some lip balm there. They are now officially my favourite shop in the world. My lips have been chapped for days, so that's been really great. Yeah, we're going to just get cracking on in a little bit. We just thought we'd take the opportunity to use the toilets that are here by this old quarry, which I think is an old Roman quarry actually, and also sit in the shade for a little bit, get out of the sun. So yeah, all good.
Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me.
So it's 5 o'clock on the so just going into the evening of day 5. As you might be able to hear from the squelching, I'm about to get wet feet, no doubt. Not for the very first time today, but certainly managed to have them dry for a good amount of time. Particularly when we were up on Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall was lovely, not just for the personal memories that I have of it and connection that I have with it, but it was busy with other people, which was nice. You know, with fellow spine competitors, although we don't feel particularly competitive at the moment, but fellow spine runners, although we're not running at the moment, fellow spine adventurers, there we go, let's go with that one. There were quite a few of them, which was nice. We kind of leapfrogged each other back and forth as some people took a break while others were feeling strong, others took a break while they were feeling strong, that kind of thing, so that was nice. Simon and I kind of held quite a consistent pace through there. Not totally consistent, we've definitely slowed down in the last couple of hours, but that's not surprising because we've been going for 12 hours now since we left Alston. But yeah, Hadrian's Wall bit was really lovely. So there were the other spine adventurers and also lots of tourists. Some, you know, other people walking the wall, Hadrian's Wall itself, or maybe walking the Pennine Way. Some people just out for a short walk, that kind of thing. We saw a few people we know, things like that. So yeah, that was really kind of good morale area for us both, I think. It was really nice, plus it's just beautiful, and it's really challenging and it's really fun, distracting. We've now come off the wall route. We're going to turn left onto the Pennine Way again to head north. That's where we're going at the moment, towards a big piece of woodland that we have to walk through, and then in about another 4 or 5 miles there's an informal kind of rest stop which is put on by one of the farms along the route, which I think we're both looking forward to taking a little sit down there, a cup of tea, something like that would be nice. We're still doing well. It's my natural, normal, sunny disposition that absolutely nobody would tell you about outside of people who come ultra running, because I'm not normally a sunny disposition sort of person, as I'm sure people who know me well know. That might fool you into thinking that Simon and I have been taking it easy, and you know, we have in fact been walking since the end of day 1 pretty much non-stop, which might not sound much like an ultramarathon, but interestingly, people who have been trying to run a bit more, we've been sort of gradually catching up with them, and they were part of that sort of same group of leapfrogging back and forth. So it's a tactic. It's trying to keep a bit more consistency with our pacing and hoping to save something in the legs, because day 6 tomorrow is the big one. It's not the longest. Day 2 was the longest. It's not even the second longest, which was day 1. It's the third longest, but of course it's at the very end, and it's got a lot of climb in it. As Simon and I were just discussing a minute ago, that It's about 26 miles going up and over the Cheviots before you kind of come down towards Kirk Yettam at the end. And that's a lot to put into the legs, and there's no real support along that route at all. So you have to be properly ready and committed before you go into it. So we're really trying to kind of play the long game here, tactically position ourselves so that we've got something for that period of the run. Well, again, it won't be a run, will it? That period of the event. So that's what we're trying to do. But again, if you were fooled into thinking, oh, hang on, world's greatest style. Thanks, Simon. I'm sure they all appreciate that. Hey, world's laziest cows. Yeah, if you're fooled into thinking that us ambling our way along the Pennine Way makes this easy, just bear in mind it's 268 miles. We are both feeling it. Unsurprisingly, we're both feeling okay, but we're both feeling it. We've had 9 hours of sleep in total across 3 nights. We had no sleep at all on the first night, and then 3 hours sleep each of the other nights. We'll probably try and get something similar tonight. We'll have to just wait and see what time we get there. Desperately trying not to spend too much time walking in the dark still, because it's just so demoralizing. Everything takes forever. But yeah, we are feeling it. But if we can get through to the end of today, feet and legs still being in reasonable condition, not doing anything too silly. We both have been trying to make a real effort to keep hydrated, despite it being a lot warmer today. No reason at all why we shouldn't make it. So kind of reining ourselves, not reining ourselves in, that's a stupid thing to suggest that we were even considering doing anything different at the moment, but you know, conserving ourselves, moving our way through the landscape, which is very pretty. I'll show you around in a second. And as you can tell, waffling like crazy at the same time. So I'll show you around, then I'll shut up, and we'll get on with walking. It's a little bit barren. Right, it's 9 PM and Simon and I have just been doing some infamous John Kelly spine maths, trying to work out what we need to do tomorrow to get to Kirk Yettam at a reasonable time that isn't super dark, and maybe the bar is still open. So we've done a bit of calculating, trying to work our way backwards, working off an assumption that we move at a similar pace tomorrow to the pace we moved at today. Sorry, I'm just looking down at a flooded river and hoping that we don't go that way.
No, we don't.
No? Have we gone off route, mate?
Let's see. Yeah, there's a bridge over there.
Ah, we think we might have got it wrong. Yeah, basically we need to leave at about 3:30 tomorrow morning. That means a little bit less sleep tonight, which is fine. We're going to crack on now, try and get to Bellingham as quickly as possible. We've just fueled up at the beautiful Horniceds farm, and yeah, we're going to crack on. in a bit, but I've got a little pewter pebble in my pouch on the front here.
Oh, what? So I can pay you immediately?
No. It's just a little piece of pewter shaped like a pebble,
Right.
with my my brother's name and the years he was alive. Whoops. So yeah, so that's why I started. That's why I did the first really long one in 2020, was to raise money. He was still alive then, and then 2022 the Northern Traverse, and then this. I did both of these, not just in his, not sort of in his memory, but we used to walk together a lot.
Oh.
So it's kind of a reconnection, which is quite nice.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And the reason that there's a pewter pebble is that the Northern Traverse, that there's a tradition that you take a pebble from the beach in on the west coast, and you carry it with you and then cast it into the sea on the east coast. And I picked a pebble and then got an indelible marker and wrote his name on one side, and then Claire and my kids' names on the other side. So, and I loaded that with Simon, obviously, and it just became this like really therapeutic, cathartic journey. So I wanted to do something similar, frankly.
That's really sweet. Well, I'm sure wherever he is, he's smiling down proud at you.
Yeah, I hope so. He'd be saying I was an idiot, but that's fair enough.
Sure, mate. It's really nice.
7:30 in the morning on Friday. There are 4 of us together, so we've been joined. We did some leapfrogging with a couple of guys last night, which is great. Then actually, as we came out of the checkpoint this morning at Bellingham, we've kind of fallen into step with them again. Don't know how long it'll last, but it's fun while it is, because you know, opportunities for new laughs, new conversation topics, some of them horrendously crude, the sorts of things you will only ever say to other people who have similar levels of interesting bodily functions over the last few days, put it that way. We got up fairly early. Simon had more evidence added to his arsenal against my faffing, in that I woke up half an hour earlier than him and was still ready about 5 minutes later than him, but never mind. But yeah, we left at about 3:45 this morning from Bellingham. Like I say, it's now 7:30 and we're down to, according to my watch, which we know isn't entirely accurate, but about 32 miles left, which is great. We're moving well, although, as you can tell, we're moving up quite a steep hill at the moment. It's very boggy still. Lots of very wet, muddy feet today already. But we're just hoping that, having lasted this long, we can get ourselves through. So yeah, all good. We're cracking on to a place called Burness, where there's a church that acts as checkpoint 5.5, where we sit down, have a bit to eat, and then get ourselves up into the Cheviot. So yeah, quite exciting today, having a good time. And look at the views. I mean, it's a funny old place around here, but we're on daylight today, when the sun's out, we had a beautiful sunrise, then it's it might be a funny place, but it's a pretty special place to be as well. We are in Scotland. Apparently this fence here, or this gate, sorry, marks the border, and I say gate rather than fence because we've just put massive effort to undo this catch that's down here when we didn't spot that there's actually not a fence next to it. Turns out the border's not massively well guarded anymore. We've got 21.3 miles to go. Do we go back into England and then back into Scotland again?
About 10 times.
Lots of times. Excellent, because the border is such a wibbly wobbly one around here. But we're making pretty decent time. We've just been through a bit of a lull in the kind of effort and energy levels, so we're trying to kind of pick ourselves up out of that at the moment. But yeah, we are well on our way today. 21.3 miles. I mean, we started the day with 41 miles, so we're doing pretty well actually. And that last section had a lot of climbing in it, which is really good to have got that done. So yeah, all good at the moment. This is Windy Gyle, in case you can't tell. Have a look around. It's a bloody wind funnel. We've got less than 13 miles left to go. 13 miles is still a long way. But we're getting it done, and we're going to get up to the top of the next peak, and I think that's the highest climb that we've got left. I'll just show you that. Alright, so we're going up there. Doesn't mean it's all downhill from there, but that's a good thing because the downhill hurts. But at least there won't be too many massive climbs left. Feeling okay at the minute, got a bit more energy back in me again somehow. Certainly got my mood up a little bit, which is good because I definitely went into a lull earlier on. I mean, we must have been up for about 14 hours now, probably walking for 12 of those with very few breaks, so not really a surprise. So anyway, we're going to crack on now. Right. It's 5:10. When I was doing one of my infamous spreadsheets for this run, I wasn't expecting my kind of best performance that I was aiming to try and get to would have had me finishing about now. To be honest, I always thought that was quite ambitious, so in reality we're just under 11 miles from the finish. We've got another kind of 5 miles to which is just an emergency shelter, really, opportunity to see some of the spine safety team, have a bit of a quick chat and a morale boost, and then on your way. So that will be probably another couple of hours from now, maybe 7:10, something like that, and then it's the 6 miles into the finish. Now 6 miles into the finish of a half marathon, for example, might take you an hour, but in this instance I think it's probably going to take us best part of 3. I think I feel like I could try and do a bit of running, maybe the last mile, just to really feel like I'm finishing it off like that. Certainly pushed really hard in the last 5 miles, just to, I don't know, I felt strong and something had lit a bit of a fire within me, and I wanted to take advantage of that. And when one of us is feeling strong, they tend to go to the front, and that helps to pull the other one along. So I decided to do that, and it worked. We got, really pretty quickly along that last 5 miles. But when I say pretty quickly, I'm still talking 21-22 minutes for a mile, and it's so tantalizingly close. This is the problem. It was the same problem end of a day when you're approaching a checkpoint. It was the same problem when I did the Northern Traverse. It was the same problem, a really clear example of it when I did a Hadrian's Wall run back in 2010, and the finish line just never seemed to get any closer, and that's how it is here. Yeah, just under 11 miles, like I say, but that's going to take time. So all we can do though is keep pushing on, because if we don't, it'll take even longer. We really want to get back in. Simon wants to see his wife Carol and their 2 dogs. He wants to have a pint at the border hotel. I want to get in there, look at the pebble for Ian, maybe even find somewhere that it can live there. And I want to celebrate. I want to be able to close the adventure out in a really positive way. And then I want to speak to Claire. And I think it will be too late to speak to the kids. But whoa, that was wobbly. But I should be able to tomorrow get home and see them, which is important, and I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, I want to speak to Claire. As you can tell, emotions are running a little bit high, but we do things as a team here, Claire. Pretty much everything, really. I'm not going to lie and pretend that I'm the one who's organised, does the planning, those sorts of things. Not really. But we do these things together, and even something as individual as this, it's not individual. It's just not. This is a family thing. All those times that I can't take Joe to football, or can't take Isla to hockey, or any of those other events because I'm going out for a run, and it's going to take the best part of the day. It doesn't take that long quite, but it feels like it does. Or always planning things together so that I'll run in the morning, so that then the rest of the day is more free, or Claire will run in the morning because that way I can get my longer running in the evening, and all these sorts of continual compromises and plans and things like that. They take effort and they take teamwork, and they take sacrifice, and that's what Claire does for me, and I do it for her. Of course I do. We're a married couple, and she trains and runs marathons quicker than me, and she plays her netball, and she does other things, and we both work incredibly hard. She works incredibly hard, but this is a huge commitment from her to allow me to do this, and I just want to thank her. Right, we've got about 7.5 miles to go, and we're just coming down towards Hut 2, which is just across the other side of a bit of valley here. I wanted to do a video just so you can see how crazy some of the climbs and descents are on this run, particularly this far in. It's living